almost like doing them an injustice by just giving them the job for DEI.
Okay, good.
Because they're not prepared for that.
Okay,
and it's gonna set them back even further.
Awesome.
Oh, he's going off. John is not playing no games when it comes to this DEI.
Yes, I think that you're more qualified than someone who wouldn't want to volunteer.
Okay, so see how your brain just operated, right? See how her brain just operated? She came up with this random thing to say, would be the most qualified person for the help that Sam's going to give me.
I understand what he's getting at. I really do. However, I would say this.
I just saw this. This just popped up in the New York Times today, right before class, that our president blames DEI and Biden. I'm not concerned with the Biden thing, but blames DEI for the crash that happened. And, he takes offense at it because it's now under his watch. And they asked him why he said that, why he thinks that DEI is to blame for the plane crash. And he says, well, it's common sense. And the reason I want to put this up here is that we have really become exceptionally divided as a nation when we're blaming things like plane crashes on DEI. And
so if you guys don't know what's going on here, this is Professor Dr. Sam Richards at Penn State, and he leads a socialism class. I don't know the exact name of the class, but he talks a lot about political things or socialism things such as DEI, race, gender, sex, and I really enjoy it. Today he's talking about Donald Trump and the rebirth of DEI and Donald Trump's comments and remarks towards the plane crash and how it relates to DEI, and the students are giving their comments on it. Let's not waste any more time and get right into this.
We're very divided, and we're in actually pretty dangerous territory when people, our leaders, are making statements like this. But most importantly, it means that if DEI is responsible for things like tragedies like plane crashes, then we probably better understand what DEI is all about. Would you agree with that, bro? Do y'all agree with that? Yeah, so this is, man. All right, so let's go to the first slide. I'm going to just do a couple things here, okay? So diversity, equity, inclusion, belonging. All right, next slide. We did this. Go ahead. Diversity, right? We talked about this last time. Broad range of people, cultures, nationalities, ideas, perspectives, generally seen as positive. We all agree with that. Do you remember? Did we basically agree with that? Diversity is mostly good, but sometimes I think what we concluded is that, if one of you could jump off of this just for a second, but the problem when it gets jammed down our throats, then people start to resist. We resist anything that gets forced upon us. And so people have the sense that DEI, like many different things, are forced upon us. And so people naturally resist that. And that's understandable. And it's probably a good thing, because especially in this culture where we really value freedom, individual freedom to think and do certain things, and we don't like things thrust upon us. And when we have the sense that policies like DEI policies have been forced on us, then it's natural that people are going to resist. Bro, does that make sense to you?
Well, I just got one thing to say to that.
Yeah.
Well, you talk about like resistance, and it's obviously in the past 4 years it's become like a political agenda from both sides. One side's for it, one side's against it. So anytime you have that, there's obviously going to be divide amongst people with such a complex issue that really shouldn't be political at all. Because you saw in 2020 there was a hike in DEI hires percentages, and now Trump says he's going to get rid of all of it. So that right there shows you it's a political, they use that to go against each other.
Yeah, it's a political football, right? And when you have...
So what John just said is that they're using the concept of DEI as basically a political football. I really like that term. Basically saying they're using DEI as a punching bag and a talking point on both sides. That's what he's saying. He's kind of implying that they don't really care about DEI, but as long as they know their supporters have a problem with it, they're going to use it. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below.
Have a political football like this. You have things like the quote that's really like, wait, how, what are we talking about? But if you were here in the last class or you watched the last class, it's kind of like when you break DEI down, there's a lot of very reasonable things that people are thinking about and talking about, and a lot of very unreasonable things. And so if you have to throw the reasonable things out with the unreasonable things, you probably don't really want to do that. But yet, that's what happens. Any other just thought on that? Yeah.
I think that sometimes with DEI, a lot of people think it's unreasonable, but like they kind of ignore the past. And so now that we're in a new generation, everybody's like, okay, you can just grind to get where you are. Or like if you're an immigrant, like you might have some things that kind of go against you, but the mentality is like grind. But like as a foundational Black American, people from my ancestry have kind of been like trapped, I'd say. And so you like systematically, I guess. And so you can think of it like systematically, mentally, economically. And so you'll see a lot of these things that like kind of hold a lot of people back, my people in specific, or like people that are native to this area.
Okay, listen, let me just help you with something, right? You just said something, what you said was really important, but the way you said it actually put a certain wall up. So some people, right? Some people of your ancestry, right, have become fabulously wealthy. And so the problem is people see those people, and then you make the statement you just made, and then they say, wait, hang on, like that doesn't make sense, right? Yeah. Can you see that? So it's like some people, or you have to tweak that.
I definitely see it. I think just in general, like a lot of Black Americans look at, or they have a lot of role models up, and so when we see those, it's like benchmarks, but it's not a benchmark for the general population, I would say.
Well, yeah, but you do understand if you're poor and you're white, like you know, my family's been around here a long time, and I grew up in the working class. I mean, on both sides of my family, we're not really recent immigrants, right? And for some reason, we didn't take advantage of our whiteness because we all end up in the working class. I'm like, come on, man, you've been here enough generations. Like, holy shit. Like, okay, but nonetheless, but people who are poor and white, what would you say to them? Restate what you just said and respond to people in the camera who are poor and white. What would you tell them? Because they're not.
I'd say they still benefit from like white supremacy. Is that?
Yeah, I don't know. They're not going to hear that, man.
Okay.
Yeah, where's the white supremacy, man? You've been like to some really poor white communities and been like, that's not going to fly. So how do they?
I mean, I feel like that's just what I would say, because still they're not systematically oppressed by anything.
But dude, hang on. Speak to the richest Black person in the room. We don't know who they are. Could be you, is it? It's not you.
No, I'm not Nigerian.
All right. So speak to the richest Black person in the room and call that person systematically oppressed. Say like, hey, whoever you.
I love that argument. I love that argument because when I hear the term systematically oppressed, I think like your family has been punished. You aren't able to escape poverty. But I'm gonna be really transparent here. The county that I grew up in is the richest Black county in the United States. It's literally the richest Black county in the United States, or it's top 5 richest Black counties in the United States. Have a 2-parent households. Both my parents make 6 figures, well above 6 figures. I have 3 siblings. We all grew up in the same house. We all went to college. We all have degrees. I'm getting a graduate degree right now. When I hear the term systematically oppressed for Black people, I'm like, there's a lot of things that can oppress you in life. But I'm Black. And I don't feel systematically oppressed. Let me know if you heard my life just now and think about if you think I'm systematically oppressed. If you do, let me know. If you don't, let me know. But let's continue.
You're systematically oppressed. Could you say that with a straight face?
I feel like I could say that the foundations of probably where they came from were systematically oppressed.
What if they were born rich?
like the foundation, like the background,
Okay,
ancestry. And all that.
okay, years ago. Got it. Yeah, because if they're going to...
Yeah, like they broke the cycle for sure.
Okay,
but-
they broke the cycle.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. But the poor white person didn't break the cycle. And so that's the one you got to talk to, man, because those are the people that when Donald Trump comes out and he's like, and I'm just going to use him, right? He's like, look, this DEI is a bunch of bullshit, right? And we got to get rid of it. They're the ones that they're going to listen to him, and they're going to be like, yeah, hell yeah. I'm not looking at my like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't care what my ancestors did. I'm looking at what the hell, right? How am I benefiting currently from white supremacy and all that kind of stuff? And what I'm telling you, this is so good. I'm so happy you got to be careful with the language. But you got to be careful with the way you frame it. So we're gonna. Did the two of you have anything to add here, or should we go?
I have some to add.
All right.
So I don't think a lot of people think about this aspect of DEI and how it actually may be hurting, like a marginalized or someone that's not as privileged. Well, let's just say quote unquote privileged.
Okay.
If you have two people that are equally qualified, right?
Yeah.
But one person got the hire because it was, we'll say, a DEI hire, right?
Yeah.
So they're thrown in this workplace where they're not familiar with everything.
Yep.
The other people around are gonna they're gonna think of them less, or they're not gonna be as for that person. They're gonna, what's the word? But like,
Feel some kind of way about them. Okay.
yeah, but they're almost like doing them an injustice by just giving them the job for DEI.
Okay, good.
Because they're not prepared for that.
Okay,
and it's gonna set them back even further.
Awesome, man.
Oh, he's going off. Jay's not playing no games. Oh, John is not playing no games when it comes to this DEI. He said, nah, you can't give nobody no job for no DEI. I'm not having that. And y'all not systemically oppressed. Forget it. I'm just playing. I'm just joking. But yeah, let's continue.
Okay, now we're going to go to the next level. Okay, we're going to bring the two of you in a hot minute. So we're going to go to the next level, right? Go to the next slide. Yeah, Jamie. I'm going to go there right now. Yeah. So listen. So here, So listen. Here's an assumption. All right. People want fairness, okay? People want fairness. All over the world, people want fairness. We want to feel as though we're competing with other people and it's fair. Or we want to feel, if we live in a society where certain families have more power than other families, and that's part of the culture, then we can believe that and it's fair, okay? So like in the Middle East, you have, the royal families. You think in Saudi Arabia, you have the House of Saud. I mean, you have certain families that are just, the family has a certain amount of power, man. If you're not in the royal family, you just know that. And it's just part of it. And you're not fighting it every day. It just is what it is. And that's fair. That can be fair. It's all right. So we want fairness, okay? So here's the thing. What happens when people, what have the four of you learned, each one of you learned when you went off to college, it's not what you do, it's who you know. It's like who you know is really, really important, right? And why is that? Why is who you know really, really important?
Because you network, and then you use them to get to higher positions that you wouldn't be able to yourself.
Yeah, to get to new positions, right? And so you know them, and then what do they do? You know me, and so now I'm familiar with you, right? We texted back and forth about, you volunteering today, you got me. So you have an in with me, right? So I know you somehow. Okay. So what if I help you out in some way? Is that you need an internship and I get you an internship? Is that a good thing?
Yeah.
It's a good thing for you?
Good thing for me, yes.
Is that fair?
Well, I think because, I took the extra level to volunteer, I think that it would be fair.
Fair. Oh, and then that's enough to know that you're the smartest person for that internship?
No.
The most qualified?
I think that if you have the drive to do something like this, I think that you're more qualified than someone who wouldn't want to volunteer.
Okay, so see how your brain just operated, right? See how her brain just operated? She came up with this random thing to say, would be the most qualified person for the help that Sam's going to give me.
I understand what he's getting at. I really do. However, I would say this. What he's trying to get to, and what he did get to, is different from having things systemically written in a place that says you have to have this amount of people or that amount of people, versus someone coming to you and positioning themselves in a way where they make it easy for you to hire them for a position. If they know you have internships, or they know you have connections to internships, and they prove themselves to you month or year after year, or month after month, week after week, they do deserve to get the position. Because rather than you going through hundreds of applications or tens of applications, they strategically place themselves in front of you, making it easy for you. It's a win-win situation. But I do understand where he's getting at. Let me know what you all think in the comments below. It's LFR JoJo, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.